So you don't reside in the United States, but you started your online business and it has been just speed bump after speed bump, headache after headache, with you trying to put this puzzle together to make it all make sense at the end of the day, but most importantly to collect your money online. In this video, I'm going to share with you how I was able to remediate all my issues with collecting payments, dealing with merchants, and everything of that sort in the online space, which made it super seamless for me to now have a business in the online space to collect payments, not having to scratch my head and all that crazy stuff. Now, one of the first things that I did before I even got my LLC set up was I went and I did my research. I took to my good buddy Google, and if you know me and if you've been around long enough, you know I always say that I have a bachelor's degree in Googleology. And I found some information on Google, but that still was not enough. So my next option that I did, I went over on YouTube and I started to ask my questions on YouTube. And I came across so many different videos that were explaining how to set up and register an LLC in the United States. It talked about opening bank accounts and all this good stuff. But it's like every one of those videos were lacking something, because see, the side of the world that I live in, it's like there was a missing piece for my side of the world. So what I resorted to after I came across this ad that took me into a webinar, I was able to purchase a course that pretty much walked me through the entire process, what it was that I needed to do. It took me through understanding the different state taxes, why it was necessary to register the LLC in a particular state versus the others in terms of cost saving and whatnot. So I went through all of that, and I did all of that to say this: I went through the process, and because I went through the process, I am qualified now to pretty much just share with you exactly what I did, how I was able to register my LLC without even leaving the comfort of my home. So let me take you into my computer screen. I went to Google and I started to do some research. So I'm kind of taking you through the entire process with what I did, right? And I typed in questions like how to open an LLC when you reside outside of the USA, right? And I started to scroll and I started to read and started to do my due diligence. And afterwards, I went over on YouTube, right? Now I pulled this up and I typed in pretty much the best or the different options that are available for you to register your LLC. And of course, I went through that program that I told you about that taught me how to do the entire process. And they gave some options, but I had to do my due diligence, like I said, because remember, it was the first time that I was doing this and I was scared of the entire process. So of course, I went and I did my thing. And because this is speaking of 2024, let me just go ahead and show you before I even let you know exactly which one of the options that I went with. There were so many different options. There was Inkfile, Taylor Brands. You see Forbes right here. Forbes is talking about Zen Business, which are featured partners and all of this good stuff, right? But it's telling you right here, the best LLC services of 2024, hands down, as you could see, is LegalZoom that is at the top. And LegalZoom was the option that I went with. And I just love how seamless their process was in terms of getting everything done. When you go over to LegalZoom.com, you're going to see it looking like this. Now, it was completely different when I got mine a couple of years ago. It gives you the different options, especially if it is that you want to establish and set up yourself to be able to get certain things done. And let me just move myself out of the way. So here you want to form a business. So you're going to select the option for business formation, right? And when you select the business formation, these are the different options for you to get started, right? Now, right here, I registered an LLC, and you could definitely do the same too, right? And the reason why you want to register an LLC, because see, when you start to operate in the online space, you want to ensure your business online is legitimate, right? And not saying that it's illegitimate if you don't have an LLC. But there's going to come a period of time where you have to shift. You're going to understand and realize that doing things in your personal name, it's easier for you to get it done when you have a business name, especially when you have to deal with merchant processors and that sort of stuff. And merchant processors, in a nutshell, is like payment processors that collect the money on your behalf and then they're able to send it to you. So these are the different options that are there, and you could take a look at the different options that are offered, right? Now, it did come at a cost for me because what I wanted to do. Now, you see, they have the basic. Of course, I'm not going to go for the basic, but you could go for the pro or you could go for the premium. It's pretty much up to you. So what I did, right, was I went with the option at the time that they had where I was able to get everything done for me. I got it with my business seal in a nice binder, my share certificates and everything. But it also had additional services that was included. And those services were like they operated as my registered office. I also had their services where they were able to submit and file what is called my EIN number. That application goes to the IRS. And the EIN number is pretty much like the birth certificate number for the business, I call it, or that's like the employer identification number, how they're able to identify your LLC, right? Now, you pick the option that you want to get started with. Then you're going to be able to create your account with LegalZoom. Now, you see right here, they're telling you the best value is the Premium Assist, right? So it's $2.99 plus state filing fees. And at the time of recording this video, these are the prices. But if you come across this in the future, these prices may differ. Of course, you don't necessarily have to use LegalZoom, but why would you not want to go with the best that is out there? And then not only that, you do your own due diligence. But then again, I'm showing you exactly what I did and how I was able to register my LLC in the United States, and I don't reside in the United States. Because if it is that you want to open a business account in the United States, you first need to have an LLC. All right. So see what the package includes. You get step-by-step attorney guidance to help you keep your business compliant from the start. You get business attorney advice at any time. They give you a 30-day subscription. You don't necessarily have to do that. Attorney reviews your contracts you use most to protect your business, and you save an additional 25% and all that good stuff. Now, what you could do is you could definitely go with either option, right? This premium option, it just comes with a little more. So I always tell persons never start at a free level because there is not anything that you could do much with the free level, right? But when you start at the pro level, you get a little bit more because you see what's included in the free level versus the basic level versus the pro level. It tells you what you get. You get an operating agreement and you see what that helps you to do. Now, this operating agreement is the one piece of document along with my identification that and my EIN that I utilize to open my bank account in the United States. You see right here, you also get an EIN, which is used to file taxes, open bank accounts, and build your staff. This was what I needed. All these additional stuff about bookkeeping tools and access to over 150 customizable legal documents, unlimited e-signatures, and all that good stuff, that's just add-on. So you want to go ahead and select Form My LLC, and then it's going to take you to the process now where you're going to, for example, you're going to type in a business name. Let's just use a name that resonates with you. And you want to stay away from names such as, let's just say, Money Makers or Freedom Fighters. Let it be something that is generic, but also has some power to it. So let's just say we'll do elevate your life. Right? And see, they say you don't necessarily have to include LLC because that will come up, right? You select next. And where will Elevate Your Life be located, right? Now, one of the things that I did was when I did my research, it showed the different states that you could register in. But for tax purposes, I did Delaware because of the state taxes that were associated. So there's other options that you could choose, but I chose Delaware, right? So we'll just use that for the sake of the video. So next it asks, who will the primary contact be, right? So you could go ahead and put your email, johndoes@gmail.com, right? You could put a primary phone number and all of that is optional. Next, but if it is your business, why not put your information? What will Elevate Your Life do? And it gives you some options here: accounting, admin support, advertising consulting. So you get the option to affiliate marketing, Amazon business. It gives you so many different options for you to be able to choose from, right? So let's just see what business says, right? And you could do business consulting as an option, business management and operations, all right? Totally up to you on how you want to categorize it. The next thing that it asks you, let's keep your LLC compliant to avoid setbacks, right? Boom. Go to next, and let's see, meet your state's legal obligations with required ongoing filing. And you could read all of that, or you could select no thanks. It just means now that you will have to go and file it yourself or find someone to file it. But they offer these services where, annually, let's just say, for example, the state tax is about $200. You pay that annually, and they deal with that for you to ensure that your LLC is kept compliant and up to date. It's just like when you have a regular business and your business is registered, you have to keep it in good standings. All right. We will just say no thanks for the sake of the demonstration, right? Business licenses and permits. Now, for me, I'm running an online business, so I don't necessarily need a license to run the business online, right? Because it's the internet. So right there and then, I don't necessarily even need a license. So I select no thanks, right? And all these additional stuff that they're giving you, remember, you could always do the free trial and then cancel afterwards, because these are just add-ons so that you could pretty much get locked into service. Now, it also gives you the option where they refer you to a bank in order for you to open the account. And the bank will call you and try to open the account and whatnot, right? But I went with this option right here, which is Bank of America, but it requires you to be in person to do that. And there's always a workaround, all right? And I'll talk about that in a little bit. So let's just select no thanks right here. And you see right here, they have a 1 day expedited processing, right? You don't necessarily have to do the expedited processing. It has founder's kit where you don't necessarily have to include a founder's kit. I didn't pay for the express processing, so I selected the regular processing so that they deal with it the regular way. I don't want it to be rushed, but I know that it's something that usually takes time. So 5 to 14 days standard processing, right? And let's just see founder's kit. Businesses face many formalities after forming. Keep your LLC organized with all the vital documents printed in one place. Now this, I selected this option because see, this is the option where they put everything in a nice binder. It had my company name on it. I got my company seal and all that good stuff. All right. So it's totally up to you what you want to do. Now, when you look at it, you will see it takes you to the total right here to be able to form your LLC. And yeah, you just go ahead and check out and just wait for it to do its magic. You're going to now have access to your account on LegalZoom, and you're going to be able to track the status. You're going to be able to see the electronic versions of your documents and the process. You're going to get everything, right? Now, the next step after that is going to be you pretty much just play the wait game where you wait until everything is finalized. So now that you've gotten the application process out of the way, you are one step closer to literally having your LLC in the United States. But having your LLC registered is one thing. Once your LLC is finalized, they're going to send you a one-page document for you to fill out. And in most cases, it comes pre-filled already. All you have to do is print it, sign it off, and email it back to them. And what they're going to do is they're going to use the registered office to submit the application to the IRS for you to get your employee identification number, aka your EIN number, because you need your EIN number in order for you to open the bank account with your operating agreement in the United States. Now, the next process is opening that bank account. Because you have an LLC, there's two routes that you could go. You could appoint someone who you trust who resides in the United States to open the bank account on your behalf. If not, you could go the route of whenever you travel to the United States, you walk into the bank with your documents and you go ahead and, see one of the business specialists and you get your account open. Personally, when I opened my account, it didn't even take me 1 hour and I was super surprised with the service and all that good stuff. I've done this more than 3 years ago, and I've also helped several persons to get their LLCs established, and many have went on to open their bank accounts because there's many routes. When it comes to finances, you have to know how to move. Sometimes it requires you making a sacrifice just for the long-term benefit. And this is just some feedback from a few of my clients that I assisted to establish their LLC and also, get themselves sorted out with their bank accounts.
I would like to say something very beautiful about Dean. He became my mentor and guided me a lot throughout this amazing journey. Dean also encouraged me for many years to open an LLC in the United States, but I was kind of intimidating because I said to myself, I'm not from the United States, how am I gonna be able to open an LLC? A few years back, I said, you know what, Dean, I'm gonna do it. I went to the States, I opened my first bank account. From there, I decided, if I can open a bank account in the States without being an American, then I can open an LLC. That's when I decided, okay, Dean, I'm gonna go for it.
Dean gave me the rundown, all the tips that I needed to make sure that my business is set up successfully, from having a LLC to my brand colors to setting up a business account for my business, for my digital business, guys. I am a hairstylist, remember. I didn't know anything about this. It was introduced to me by the digital space, and now I have a legally operated business, okay? And the name of my LLC is Power of Choice LLC. And Dean helped me to walk through the process step by step. Who is going to take the time out to do this? A lot of people won't. So he helped me with all of that step by step. And guess what? I am in the Caribbean. And Dean walked me through setting up a LLC internationally from the Caribbean. Dean is someone who goes out, do his research. He is always researching because he is serious about what he wants, where he sees himself, and the success that he wants to achieve.
Dean, I just really want to express how grateful I am and how thankful I am for the information that you shared with me in relation to creating a Stripe account from all the way in Jamaica so that I was able to get paid on my website. So you pretty much informed me that I just needed to create an LLC, and the process was not hard, so that I could attach it to my Stripe account and be able to free up all of that money that Stripe was literally holding for me. Guys, Dean is the real deal.
And I'll be sure to leave a link in the description for you just in case you want to book a consultation, because everyone's story is different, everyone's situation is different. But just in case you want to book a consultation to get more information, you could jump on a call together. So I'll leave a link in the description for you. Now, when I was opening my account, there was many options that were there. Persons were talking about opening an account with Mercury Bank or, to go some crazy route. But see, I wasn't about that. The kind of person I am, I like simplicity. And I also wanted to ensure that I'm doing things the right way in a safe way. So the best way for you to be able to open your US bank account is to travel to the US. If it is that you don't have a US visa, I don't know, do you have some sort of family member or someone that resides in the United States that maybe you could trust them enough and you could appoint them as a member inside of your company just for them to be able to go and open the business account. And once the business account is open, then you now could take over the operations. But you have to ensure that you have everything documented to the T so that there is a clear understanding, because when it comes to people and money, things are really, funny. But I know things and times are changing, and there's many options that are out there for you to be able to probably have what is called a virtual bank account. But even that in itself is another video for a different day. But I personally would not recommend that, because see, when it comes to you now operating with your LLC, one of the things that's going to happen is it gives you easier access for you to be able to get a merchant account, and a merchant account such as Stripe Authorize.net, or whatever other popular one that is out there. But I personally love Stripe, and I use Stripe as well as I use PayPal. But that's where I started. I started with PayPal, but there were so many hiccups and hurdles that I had to jump to be able to collect my income at the end of the day. But with Stripe, there is the protections that's there. There's the rules that is laid out, and I just love the platform. So when you have your LLC, it's easier for you to open a Stripe account, and then that account could be linked to your business account. Now, I personally know several persons who don't have a business account, but they have a personal account, and they were able to get a merchant services account with Stripe. So I have to throw that in there. But like I said, I opened my account a couple years ago. Things and times have shifted, so maybe, just maybe, the rules are different now. But I hope this helped to provide you with some sort of guidance or direction so that you now don't have to go through the hassle, the headache, and the hurdles of being able to just have your online business and not having to deal with so much unnecessary headache in order for you to be able to get your money into your bank account at the end of the day. If you're not subscribed, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and do me a favor and share this with a friend. But let me know also if you got some value from this. And remember, if you're looking for that personalized consultation where maybe your situation is different and I could probably give you some guidance, I'll leave a link in the description for you to go ahead and book a consultation so that we could jump on a call together. And until the next video, my friend, take care.